Trustee Craig?
Should be online.
Yes. He is. Okay. Trustee Daniels?
Here.
Trustee Kepke?
Here.
Trustee McIntosh?
Here. Excellent. Please rise and join salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for all that serve. Can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the amendment.
I'll second. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, there you are. There you are. Thank you. Approval of the November 17th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the November 17, 2025 meeting as presented.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you. We have a presentation of the consent agenda. Can we get a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
It's pretty cool when you're 70% in revenue and 20% expenditures. Like that.
Very much so.
Easy to approve.
It
Yeah,
is.
thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Brian, did you have more discussion? Aye, motion carries.
Sorry, this
No,
thing's give me some fits.
That's all right. I get it. We move on. Okay, reports and recognitions. I have a few across the board shout outs that I'd like to share. Ms. Miller and Mrs. Olson contributed greatly to both Orofino Elementary School and Cavendish. If you can look on our agenda online, there's a video link of Cavendish School's Christmas event, and the kids really knocked it out of the park. And that is credit to Miss Olson. So it's awesome. Super proud of Orofino Senior High School, excuse me, for the partnership and toy drive that they did with the Orofino Christmas 911 program. Excellent stuff. Timberline staff, custodial staff needs a shout out for doing an excellent job. This facility is always great and clean, and they've had a lot of activities this month. IDYCA would like to give credits above and beyond to Mr. Carpenter and Mr. Burner, for the extra effort they put towards helping our cadets succeed. And this to me is really awesome. Back to Timberline and food drive. Harley Harris put together a food drive, and we want to appreciate her very much for that, for the Hilltop. And Albertsons from Clarkston, Washington contributed both turkeys and hams to our food bank for the holiday season. And to me, that's sort of above and beyond. So thank you. Anybody else have anything they want to?
You got them.
I got one. Sorry.
Okay, kind of a recognition hog, I guess, tonight. I appreciate all of them. Okay, building reports. Any questions? And building program reports.
I guess one more comment, just that we filled up the biggest bus that we ever had for a food drive. That's pretty impressive to have to get a bigger bus this year. Helping a lot of families, huh, Carmen?
Yeah, that is great. Yeah. I look forward to learning more about the Striving to Meet Achievements in Reading Together program. There's a grant that Orofino Elementary School teachers received. And at the Idaho School Board Association, there was a lot of attention on reading scores and literacy programs across the state by the state legislature. So all the programming that we can develop that will help facilitate that with our students, I think is good.
Cindy Miles got a grant too for $2,650, which is huge.
Yeah, I saw that.
All help out, new materials for classes.
And the Timberline IRI scores, even with the new funky program, kind of knocked the CIP out of the park. That's awesome. Our goals. Yeah, that's very, very good. Any other questions or comments? Okay, superintendent report, please.
For appreciation, I included the most recent Thrive and Shine recognitions if you hadn't seen those. It's interesting to pay attention to the traits. If you're watching the post, you get the full story, but those circles are actually stickers that the individual ends up receiving. Which reminds me, I have one here to give out. And that kind of highlights some of the traits that were emphasized in the appreciation. So I just try to keep all of those in front of you. Those are the ones that you hadn't seen yet, I think. And then I included that link there just for everybody to, I've been frequently resharing the link to submit nominations. And they've been steady but slow. So, you know, which is probably to be expected. And that's all I had for recognitions this month, short time from last to this. So we've been doing a lot of work on accreditation. That's mostly fallen on the principals. They've been working on their self-assessments. And again, we're going to compile all those self-assessments into a district-wide self-assessment. And that's one of the largest pieces of data that the team uses when they come to do their on-site review. Excuse me. We also found out that they really want us to conduct 2 Elliott observations per teacher. And so that's quite a bit. Generally, in addition to the regular observations that principals are conducting. So Cody and I have done a few of those, and we'll do some more to help with that load. We're not required to do that, but that's what Cogni is suggesting. So, and I gave some more information about those observations. That's not new to you, but I just want to keep it in front of you. It's a big undertaking that we're undergoing. Any questions about those things?
No, I'm actually excited about the accreditation outcome and see, you know, where are we? Where can we head for improvement? So excited about that.
We've done a lot of work in safety. The first part of this was just all about Mark Fedderson. He's with the Office of Building Safety, and he is our regional inspector, and he goes through all the buildings and does inspections. And I have those reports. I'm not prepared to present the results of that, but I just wanted you to know that he's been through all of our buildings, provided a report for each building. He does some things like comes onto campus and tries to get in, checks all the accesses, checks the humans, tries to get in without permission, you know, that kind of. So he does a lot of physical things in locks, but he also does a lot of human things, like how do people respond to somebody trying to get in? Does anybody question him? He doesn't have a badge on, those kind of things. He's reported to us on all of our drill procedures, if we have formalized processes for pretty much everything that you can imagine around safety, whether from bullying to evac, crisis planning. So we've done a lot of work there, and I think that will show when I get those compiled for you. I'm gonna meet with the principals on those, and then we'll have a safety committee meeting to really look at district-wide some low-hanging fruit that we can take on, which we have done several of those things. We've added district handheld radios to each of the buildings. That's been a kind of an ongoing thing where we haven't had that in place for communication efforts. Most of the time they're not needed. Most of the time our cell phones function or other more effective means of communication. But there are instances where we've thought about reunification in the event that cell towers were down, things like that. And so it's probably a redundant source of communication, but we have them. So they're programmed in line with bus frequencies. So if you had to communicate with the bus, you could, but there's also another channel on there, and it's just a line of sight channel that the bus drivers don't use. It could be used like by district staff if we had to do an offsite reunification or something like that. So those will be helpful to us. In addition to that, each building has a kit. They all have megaphones now if they needed them. We had to purchase several of those. District office has a kit with all of our rosters, all of those things, that some basic supplies that we would need if we had to go to an offsite reunification site. And if you're not following on that, that would be a situation where we had a situation in a building and we had to evacuate, and then we had to reunify with families, whatever that event might be. We haven't had those things in the past, so those are upgrades to our safety planning.
With the fire last year, down, or was it 2 years ago now? Time goes by fast. Would that be an example of that reunification exercise?
Could be. Basically, if we're still able to communicate and we can still stay on campus, it's pretty easy to send students home. Generally, like we've had to do that, for power outages or this or that. It will be much more challenging if we had to bus all of our students, for example. Up here would be a good one to talk about. If we had to leave Timberline, we would go to the Pierce Community Center. That would come with a host of challenges, communicate all kinds of things. So we've worked through those scenarios, but knock on wood, and all of our closures, we've been able to do it from.
And is that because that's the only facility on the hill that's large enough to hold the capacity?
In smaller schools, it's a little easier to adjust on the fly when you have to, but that's the planned site.
Does
Yeah.
Mark come yearly or is it?
Yearly. Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
Nice?
Yeah, and he's pretty good. You'll see the reports will be confidential. You'll be able to see them. They don't go out to the general public because they talk a lot about, ways to gain access and, some of the intricacies of the plans that, are meant to be confidential. But
Nice.
once we get through those, I will share the information with you. We've also made some progress on gifted and talented. Gifted and talented is a state requirement that's often really not complied with. It's an unfunded mandate. You're supposed to have gifted and talented programs. We've had an approved plan for many years, but it's just been, we have not had any way to officially screen students. So this year we're experimenting with an assessment to screen all of our second graders. And so we've purchased it. We're in the process of learning how it's going to be administered, and we've got to get through that before we administer it. Then we'll see how well it goes, and and what the end result is. But
I was wondering, is there a reason why second grade?
just based on a recommendation from our regional GT coordinator, basically from the state, that's a place to start. So we want to see how that goes. We're already over assessed, as you know. So one more assessment, and actually this is a series of 3 assessments. So
Okay.
we're going to have to mitigate how that goes, right? They're 30-minute assessments, and to me, it's fairly engaging, but
Per
You know.
person? Per student?
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so 30-minute assessments, for all second graders.
Mhm.
You don't have to administer all those. We've just
So
selected,
you
elected to. this year.
assess them all. You don't
Right.
they're not nominated by the
No.
teacher.
This is a screener to identify, to see if any are screened out.
Yeah.
So once we get through a cycle of this year, we'll have a good idea. Do we want to continue with all 3 of these? Would just one have been, there are 3 different assessments, so we went with our recommendation to do all 3 this year.
Could you pick and choose?
Yeah.
Can cherry pick between them?
So after we get through that, it'll be interesting. We'll see if we can, if that was great the way it was, or not so much. We're gonna do 1 of them or 2 of them. We have flexibility and all that, but we're glad to have made some progress. Deidre Jenkins is our GT coordinator for the district. And she's been really helpful in getting it off the ground.
Nice.
Again, it's kind of an unfunded mandate, but we just want to ensure that, we're serving all of our kids.
Sure.
So,
And then you,
and our teachers do a great job of differentiating and providing enrichment opportunities, but this would add to our formalized process.
When you look at some of our cohorts, I think we have some whiz bang kids.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's
In all kinds of ways.
Right.
And they, the state really encourages that when you're thinking of GT, it's not just academics, almost almost back to the multiple intelligences theory of, you're looking for a wide variety of gifted. We have complete autonomy over how we identify, who we identify, and then how we serve. We don't really have the capacity to, have this huge program, but we want to find out if we have some GT students, and if so, serve them to the best of our ability. So I'm proud to report that we're making some progress there, but it will be, it'll be challenging for us.
And the link that you put here is to the assessment tool.
It's to that assessment website. So if you're interested in learning about this particular assessment, that'll take you there. And our state person showed us some options, and this is the one that they recommended. So it was affordable. We ended up going with it. So, and again, it's somewhat of an experiment. We haven't done it before. So I'm anxious to try it out and see how it goes.
Yeah, I did not look at the link, but I will now that you say it's not just educational. It could be other
We have-
ways. It'll be real curious to see. Again, not only
This screener, to clarify, this screener is very much academic.
Okay.
We have the ability to identify another reasons.
Okay. Okay, any questions for Superintendent Hunter? Okay, excellent. Thank you
Thank
very much. Thank you. Okay, moving on to, oh, Brian, I'm sorry. I forget that people are not, when they're not here. And any questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So public comment, Carmen?
We have
Okay, thank you. Okay, surplus. Yep, I noticed that we had an item, looked like one item.
Items.
Oh. Oh, okay, I thought the under $500 was, didn't
We're
require,
We're
Just-
required to notify.
Just note it. You don't have to
Okay.
do anything, right? Yeah.
So we don't need to take any
You don't
action.
have to take action.
Okay.
hopefully we get some good buyers.
We have a hard time with that,
Oh.
we just had the public surplus listing on those other things, and I think Carmen ended up finding a buyer for the cooler, but not through the public surplus. Sometimes that stuff is more hassle.
Especially for the price you're looking at.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Mixers
Do we
around the
have to go to
holidays seem
Public
good.
auction?
No.
mm-mm.
No, we can dispose of it in wide variety of ways, That one is fair, as long as people know about it, that
Mhm.
everybody would have access to it. The main thing we would want to do if we're surplusing something is to make sure it was, out there for everyone.
So Carmen, question, just thinking about someone that I worked with, well, a long time ago now it was an entrepreneur, a food entrepreneur, the KitchenAid stand mixers and attachments. How big? What's their capacity?
I'm assuming it's a lot like what you have in your homes.
Oh,
And they
okay.
came from Orofino High School, home ec department, and they got a grant and had replaced them.
Oh,
And I
Good for
think,
them.
the teacher is working with Becca with some ideas on that as well.
okay. So not a big, like kitchen.
No.
kitchen. It might be worth reaching out to the economic development person. Because in that role, I did a lot of work around entrepreneurial stuff, and there was a lot of foodies at
Mhm.
times here and there. And it might be worth just reaching out to Susan Jacobson.
Okay,
I have her email if you want it, so.
right.
Or we could reach. you
I
could
could
tell
reach out
her.
to her, yeah.
Are you in the board?
No,
Oh.
but I deal with her sometimes.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. All right. So we need, we do not need action? Okay, just awareness. Policy, none. Wonderful. We're caught up. Just wait.
We're not caught up, we're just not doing it.
Oh, I see.
An
Merry
early
Christmas
Christmas
present. Merry Christmas. Christmas.
We'll never be caught up. We're gonna pace ourselves.
Okay, all right. So the next item we have is the asbestos management plan. Roy?
I had Roy put those in his maintenance report, so
Yep.
if you go to his report, you'll see the
That was
documents
handy.
there.
We understand this is something that we must do to become compliant.
Yep. So it's something that has to be done, that was done a long time ago. And for most schools, we've lost record of it. So we went out, we searched up some companies, and we also had some recommendations from some local contractors that other superintendents and other schools have used. We received 2 bids back. We got one that was above and beyond what we were asking for, which is a lot of good information, but financially just probably not in the position where we want to be, especially since this is kind of a unexpected expense that we planned on this year. The other bid that we got is exactly kind of what we were looking for. It is our lower bid. And it checks all the boxes with the state on being compliant. So in there, that is my recommendation.
I'm a little unclear on what the recommendation is. Which firm?
Terracon.
Paragon,
for
yeah, I can't get it to open. Yeah, so on the very front there of the summary and recommendations, on the very top says recommendation, I put the company.
Yep.
And then it breaks it down on why.
So in order for us to be compliant with asbestos regulations, we have to have a plan district-wide. Each building has to have an assessment. This would be to get started with OES. So it would be just the cost for design a
Just
plan
one?
for, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be per building.
And that was my question. We got just like one a year. Is that what we're gonna try to do? or
Yeah,
every-
whatever we can. And like, so Timberline, for example, we have all the records here, so, and Jason put it in, so we have an electronic copy of it now, which we'll eventually do with all the schools once we get this. So this school, it'll only need a 3-year survey, basically. So they'll come, they'll pull a couple samples, and it's gonna be a fraction of the cost in building us a whole new management plan.
Where OES is brand new.
Yeah.
So 13.5 kind of gets us up around for that
Yep.
building.
So anytime we were always out of compliance, not having a district-wide management plan and the buildings not having their documents and plans in place, but especially when we try to do a big project, then it's really apparent that we're out of compliance. So we learned about this year and with
Because of
the
our roof
OES roof
okay.
project.
Okay, now it's making sense why we started with that one.
Start.
That's what I was gonna ask, but now.
Right.
tied
So
into our
if we were
project.
doing, I'm sure these are asbestos tiles here in this cafeteria. If we were trying to do flooring here,
Sure. Then we would need it.
we would have to have all those. We have to anyway,
Right.
but we really would have to.
Okay.
Because
Which
there's
we
other
just-
things that you have to do.
Yeah, which leads us kind of into projects this year. We're looking at more of our exterior projects to do this summer so that we can get caught up and be compliant inside before we start ripping things apart, not knowing what we're dealing with.
Makes sense.
And as you probably know, but it's mostly, insulation, some flooring, could be roofing materials, or insulation under roofing materials. Old ceiling tiles sometimes. What am I missing?
That's the majority. It's mainly in glues. There's a lot of glues and products like that. So, if there's.
Under carpet glue.
Exactly.
So, did we run into any issues at Cavendish with the work that you did last year?
Not really.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So Orofino Elementary is a #1 priority. Where do we then go? What's the plan?
Well, that'd be a discussion probably with you guys and with our superintendent on, if we want to, and maybe with the company, if you guys do decide to go with one of these companies, can we work out a deal plan? Can we work out, you guys come back once every 6 months, once a year? That's for a further discussion on where we want to take it.
And have you had any conversation like that with them?
Yeah, at both companies that we received numbers back from, they both know that we have multiple buildings that need to be done. And they were both, both of them were already asking for square feet and years built and stuff like that. And for the most part, they do this as a profession. So they know, if we have a school built in the 50s and it's this many square feet, they know how many samples and probably what they're going to find. So.
And part of the cost is, I'm assuming, travel
Mhm.
and is that pretty expensive?
For
The
the travel.
part? Yeah.
Yeah, one of them broke it down pretty good for their travel expenses. The other one, are lesser, did not break it down. But yeah, both of them.
Terracon's out of,
Ericon's out of Boise, I
Yeah.
believe.
and the
So-
other one was a Spokane.
I just wondered if it would be
Mhm.
move us to look at more than
Right.
one building at a time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, we have them. And so the lump sum is not necessarily a lump sum. It could have travel and per diem costs. on
No,
top of that.
they have it broke down
It
in
is a
there
not
that
to
it
exceed?
is. Yep.
And will we have that language in the contractual
Mhm.
agreement?
We can, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did we initially, I'm forgetting where we initially found the Terracon company. Was that the,
So Terracon, I found them online and we started talking with a guy named Paul there and he's been really responsive. He kind of worked us. We started with them. Jason and I were communicating back and forth with this gentleman and they were our first resource and then we've reached out to a couple other resources and they gave us some other names and that's where we got the other contractor from. But yeah, Terracon was the one we started with.
I'm really looking to just get compliant,
Mhm.
so that we can get our work done. It's kind of, some of the things are a little over the top.
Sure.
So. And
Yeah.
that other bid that's much higher, had a lot of add-ons that,
Mhm.
we don't.
Yeah,
need to-
Fulcrum is the other company and their add-ons, they could be beneficial down the road for us, but for the financial burden, it's not really where we need to be right now, I don't believe.
So there's a note here, that with the 14,000 savings separately to procure a limited lead and LEC inspection, mercury and PCBs.
Mhm.
From Terracon as an add-on with a
Basically, so Terracon doesn't have the lead inspection or the mercury inspection in it. And it's basically saying saving that 14 grand from the other company. If it's something we had to do down the road based off of a specific project, we can get it done for that specific project cheaper than just hiring the company to do it from the get-go.
and this came from them.
No, so that's a summary of breaking down the two. So that summary is one, and then you have bid one and bid two and links below that.
Any more questions? I'd entertain a motion.
so making a motion just to proceed with the,
Make it,
Or is
well, we
there
have a
a conflict?
recommendation for Terracon,
okay.
for a $13,500 lump sum assessment at Orofino Elementary School. Is that an accurate way to state that?
Yep.
But I can't make.
Okay. So say it again.
Okay, but so the motion would
Okay.
be to select Terracon.
So I'll make a motion to select Terracon for the asbestos management planning based on Roy's recommendation for the project at Orofino Elementary School, not to exceed 13,500.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Brian, I want to make sure you're not muted.
No, I can hear. I'm good.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, Roy. Stay in the hot seat.
Mhm.
The Orofino Elementary School roof bids.
So this one, we went over this a couple board meetings ago and it was for a complete tear off. That we had prices over 1 million for that. So that project was denied. So this, we went back out to rebid as a layover system. And we received 3 bids back for that. And again, I did the same thing. I broke it down in a summary with a recommendation plus the 3 bids that we have there. And based off of their proposals, which, we really looked at warranty. Let's see.
Thickness of the product.
Yeah,
and the
warranty,
price.
thickness, the product they were using, references based off of jobs that they've done that were similar or bigger. We went off of all of that with a rubric. Plus our policy reads basically that we accept lowest bid unless we have a really good reason not to. And so my recommendation for our roof would be JM Roofing and Flat Roof Systems, as they were our lowest bid. We have a pretty good rapport with them. And there was if you look on his bid, he has it down as a 40 mil roof and the rest of them bid at a 60. So we did get a change order amount in there, and that's in my report. And that is my recommendation, is that we do that change order.
And that's
with-
at 60
with
mil.
the 60 mil and the 10-year workman warranty, because his was a 40 mil with a 2-year. And still, when he bumped it up to the same thickness as everyone and the same warranty, he's still our lowest bid.
And that's the 254, 735.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the
Highlighted
highlights
at the
there.
top.
Okay.
Where are they out of?
They're out of Lewiston also.
Oh, okay.
Which
Just a
is-
local-
Mhm.
local
And
issue.
they've done a lot of local buildings for us also.
So they'll do a 20-year manufacturer warranty on the product and then 10-year workmanship, right?
Mhm.
So workmanship would be like repairing seams.
Seems anything like that, that's not, not from a tree falling on it, but anything that
Right.
malfunctions.
And the problem we're having now really is the product.
The product itself fell apart. And so that's a 20-year on this.
And they could get it in pretty quick too, right? Is that what you
Mhm.
were saying?
Yep, they say about a wing a week.
Okay.
So they'd be out of there in 3-4 weeks.
And is this for the whole building or are we doing sections?
It's for the 3 wings and
Okay.
basically the hallway that connects
Okay.
them.
So where are the HVAC and or electrical connections on that roof?
Everywhere. Every classroom has a mini split, which has an electrical penetration and an HVAC penetration above each one.
So then why, does J&M say that they are not going to coordinate, for HVAC and power?
Because it's gonna be a layover, so they're gonna seal all those penetrations with their layover, not pull anything and redo the penetrations.
So if it was a tear off, they would be disconnecting all
Yeah,
those
we'd
units.
basically
Thus the
lift
need
all the
for-
units off, completely
Thus-
redo it, lay them back down, and then repair penetrations after.
But that's where we were at $1 million
Mhm.
versus 250-ish where we're at now.
One of the main things I really wanted was a thick product with a good warranty.
Yeah.
I like that we should be able to get them because they're local. We should be able to do service without charge. Even some of the companies we've had from Spokane and Missoula, they do warranty it, but you still end up paying for their travel. And so I think this will be relatively affordable as long as it holds up as they say it will.
How big is 60 milliliters? Millimeters, right? Not milliliter, right? Millimeter.
Yeah.
So 60. Is that 6/10 of a centimeter? That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah. The minimum,
Six-
the minimum industry standard is 40.
I
So
was-
this is
Yeah.
a third more, it looks like.
And this is the next level up.
$60,000.
Inch.
I would entertain a motion at this time regarding the Orofino Elementary roof bids.
I'll make a motion to move forward with JM Roofing and Flat Roof for the 60 mil up to, but not to exceed 254,735 for OES per Roy's recommendations.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? In the future, I would like to see the rubric for these kinds of bid evaluations.
We can do that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Yay, Orofino Elementary School roof. Yes.
I bet you need it right now on the
Yes.
train we've greased.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine. Is it just raining in there? Ah. I would imagine. As well, we definitely needed. Thank you very much, Roy and Jason. Transportation lease requests?
I've had a request from Night Force to, it's not a lease, I shouldn't have used the word lease, but basically for us to provide a shuttle transportation services. So they wanted us to provide transportation shuttle services in Orofino from the armory to the hotel for their parking, et cetera. We've done this in the past. Mostly we have done it for student groups, ski hill, field trip, summer library. We have done it for some private groups, and we're allowed to. There's quite a few requirements to doing it. We also have turned some down in the past. I think last year or the year before, we really were trying to mostly avoid private transportation like this, but we didn't have a van at the time. You know, so as a yellow school bus, you know, taking people to a wine tasting or, you know, something like that. And we had some requests for like a wedding venue and some things where it's like, okay, how far should we go with this? It's the law kind of governs some of it very clearly. We cannot use public funds for private gain. So we have to, at a minimum, charge to recoup for any investment in public funds. That's the minimum. Then there's a host of other issues, liability issues, driver qualifications, training, the vehicle can't have your signage on it, you know, if you use a school bus or a van, for example. In this case, they're wanting the van with our driver. You have to cover your signage for things like that. If we decided to do it, a private company would have to provide their own insurance and, you know, liability insurance and name the district as covered. We've ran this by our insurance agent, and that would prevent most people, you know, would prevent a citizen, you know, most people for a wedding or something like that probably aren't going to get $1 million liability insurance policy for that to pay for us to provide transportation. So, you know, I'm kind of conflicted. It could be advantageous to the district. It definitely would be advantageous to Night Force to have a shuttle. Jesse told me that in the past they've used, you know, just private citizens to shuttle people.
Is it a one-time event or is it
One-time event, it's a Christmas party scenario. In order for us to do it, we would have to have our own driver. At first I was thinking, well, maybe it could be a volunteer. You can't really be a volunteer driver because you can't have an employee volunteer in their own occupation or in their own job, you know. So there's a few of us that are qualified to drive that could volunteer, but most of our drivers could not because they're employed as drivers. So you can't volunteer to be a driver.
Do we have one?
Do we have a driver
Do we
available?
have someone? that-
Yeah, we would one way or another, whether it was Stephanie or myself, probably.
Yeah, and I obviously can't vote on this. I'll just go on the Night Force side, but we're willing to do a donation to whoever, obviously pay the fees, but do a donation because it does save us. Yes, we have insurance, so that's an easy one for us. We have a lawyer on staff now, so not too worried about that anymore. And Night Force did donate a bunch of racking this spring. I'm just remember that in the future, there's probably gonna be more donations from Night Force, so. So it's just for us, we have the armory rented for a Christmas party. Parking's limited. I've talked to CT, I've talked to the neighbors. They all say we can park. But our thoughts are we have 3 buildings around town plus the hotel where people could leave vehicles. And then they would just kind of pick up and drop. We were kind of leaning towards the shuttle because it won't be more than probably 5 or 10 people at a time. We don't need really a bus. Hope didn't think we should rent the short bus, but I mentioned we have a van now, so. But yeah, and like I said, we could work out obviously fees and or donations to whoever's driving, if it's to the bus garage or to a sports program or whatever, so.
I also am conflicted here because of the ski hill, and we greatly benefit from our relationship with the district. And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that that Night Force is an ongoing contributor to our community in many ways, as much as well as the ski hill. So I'm glad we have a full quorum to be able to vote on this issue.
Yeah, but obviously.
That's kind of why I brought it to you. The board has to authorize things like these, but you know, there's two sides to it, you know, there is risk involved. It can be mitigated, you know, with insurance and a hold harmless agreement. Those things are required, but there's still some risk in engaging in things like this. It is legal. It's possible. We've done it in the past, but again, there's risk. There aren't other, you know, we're not in the business to provide public transportation, but there are no, you know, other options like this for companies. I can only think of a handful in our county that might, you know, want something like this. Could be another larger organization. And we always have the ability to say yes or no at the local level too, you know, we're and we have done that in the past. We've had some requests that either we didn't have a driver or we just didn't feel it was in the district's best interest, so we said no.
So I just wonder, like, if you do it for Night Force and somebody else asks and you say no, is there any kind of ramifications from that?
Could be negative, you know, negative PR, negative publicity, you know, if we were gonna say yes or no, we should have justification, you know. The main thing would be you'd have to meet any company would have to meet all of the requirements, and then we would have to have the ability to do it, the willingness and the ability. So if we don't have a driver, or if it's at Christmas and, you know, nobody wants to do it, then it's a no. We should not, if we're going to say yes to one, we should, you know, mostly have the opportunity available to all if we can do it, but it's not our primary mission.
I didn't write down the policy reference. Do we have a policy reference?
Very little policy on it. Basically, it says if there's going to be an exception to the board is allowed to do it, but it has to be board approved for anything other than the regular transportation, extracurricular transportation.
And I'm just thinking, again, there is an agreement form. I know I've signed an agreement form for the ski club. So there is a process that would need to be followed.
We
And we have a driver, or we can get a driver?
we likely would.
Okay.
You know, the board approves it, then we'll move forward with procedures, and if the board is like, we don't want to be doing that.
I'm pretty good at finding some good drivers that are qualified if needed. So.
I asked him if he tipped well.
We do.
Tip the driver.
Jason, what are the risks? Are there risks that you're worried about?
The main risks, Brian, are just legal risk, liability risk, you know, an accident, damage to the property, injury to somebody riding, injury to the driver, anybody else, you know, any kind of vehicle accident liabilities that you'd be concerned about in any other sense. We're covered, but those are the risks.
Well, the driver would definitely be covered because they're an employee, right? They're being paid.
Correct. And that's one of the main reasons why you have to have your own driver for that purpose. All of those risks are mitigated, but they exist nonetheless. You know, a person could still file a lawsuit regardless of whether or not you had insurance, you know, coverage, et cetera.
Yeah. I think that's a limited risk, in my opinion.
Well, as stated, I believe I have a conflict, so I won't be voting, but I will call for the motion.
Yeah, I'll be abstaining, obviously.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request for transportation lease for Night Force.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I think we can try it if for some reason it doesn't work, then we know not to do it next year, so. It's worth a try.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Yeah, motion carries.
Thanks, guys. I'll work out the details with Steph. We'll get the right paperwork and all the insurance stuff lined out. And like I said, if it does go well, I mean, I could see it being an annual thing for us and their hospital and some of the other companies in town potentially that do have insurance and some money to pay right for it, so.
I think it reduces DUI
Yeah.
potentials as well.
And just on the bus topic, now that we have one, we've talked about like sponsorships and things. There are some companies in town that have talked about, you know, if we can put logos on, so maybe we get some logos that could cover if we do this down the road, but they pay for it, you know, to put it on. So if you're running the school, I mean, the ski hill, maybe it's got Night Force logo or Hanson's logo that we're paying, which helps cover up the district logo for non-district things and brings in some money to the district. So that's a whole nother topic, but I know it's been brought up a few times. I don't know if we do it on a school bus, but with the.
We haven't. Oh,
Think about
okay, happy to. Okay, moving on, title,
A quick point of order, Christine.
yes,
Did we, prior to the vote, I didn't hear either of you abstain. Did you guys abstain to the
Yes.
vote?
We
Once
both
it-
abstained.
After it was seconded?
no, we,
Just from a procedural standpoint,
right.
I think it's important.
Yep.
It was second
Registered as
to
abstain.
discussion. I heard 3 yeas, but I didn't hear 2 abstains.
Good point, Brian.
okay,
So, I
so,
will abstain.
Carmen, we need to redo the motion.
The motions was made and seconded and both trustees Saint Germain stated they would abstain and trustee Daniels both stated they would abstain before the vote.
I thought we did,
Yeah, we just did it in the beginning instead of after.
before the
did.
vote.
I'm just specifically talking procedure wise.
Yeah. Yeah. So do we need to revise the motion?
I think we should.
If you
That's-
want to be clear,
Okay. So I will make a motion that we approve the transportation lease request from Night Force.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
And I'll abstain my vote.
I abstain my vote. Brian, was that an aye?
That's an aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries.
Okay. Title VI funding grant.
This is another kind of community partnership opportunity. Title VI is federal grant funding for Native American students. We have so few Native American students in our district that we don't apply for this typically. The amount that we could receive is unknown, but some reports, you can't get an actual hard number, but it appears that maybe $4,000 total for our district could be collected for the number of students we have. Nez Perce Tribe is wanting to partner with the smaller districts, Clearwater Valley, Kendrick, us, Cul-de-sac, Moscow, Pullman, not that Moscow and Pullman are small, Highland and Mountain View, to apply for this grant as a whole. And utilizing all of the Native American students in each district to secure some funding. Our portion of that will be, like I said, very small, so it's unclear how much funds would actually come to our district. Because the way the process works is that the parents have to, really the plan gets designed after the application, after the funding, because then you get Native American families to speak about their priorities. Some of the things that can be paid for with the grant are all kinds of academic supports, cultural programs, support services, college and career readiness, all kinds of things, mostly that we do already. So any portion we receive could enhance those things specifically for Native American students. Or it could be, the tribe may compile all of those funds to provide a person that would travel and provide services, to better serve the region per se. So after having met with them, kind of learned through the process, went through the process, it's not really worth for us individually. I'm not interested in pursuing this grant. But I would like to partner with them. I think it could be a good opportunity to expand that relationship and support this process, which for us would mean that, our office would have to do some support. We'll have to share some letters, participate in some family engagement opportunities, all of which I see as a positive thing, strengthening relationships in our district and hopefully providing better service. The tribe's already sent out this flyer to families and communities, but if you approve it, I'll send it out from our office as well. And then there's some families opt in if they want to be considered, because there's a whole process, about whether your student qualifies or not. Anyway, basically, I'm just asking for the board to approve or not our participation with the tribe in this partnership. Again, they'll administer the grant and maintain, most of the control over it. We'll be in a support role. We could stop at any time, apply for it ourselves, so we're not bound to it for 50 years if our population changed and we had a different need. The workload is minimal. I just didn't see a real drawback for it. It hasn't been done this way in the past, so see how it goes. It's my thinking. Other questions about that or questions about that?
Is there a financial match requirement?
There's not.
Just a pledge of support?
Yep. And the Lapwing and Kami run it themselves because their population is high enough. They're the two in our area where they receive these federal funds. We just have to complete paperwork basically and agree to let them administer for us.
I like regional collaboration, so I think it's great.
I'm all about it.
Okay, I would entertain a motion regarding Title VI funding grant application by the tribe, including us.
I'll make a motion to approve Joint School District 171's participation with Nez Perce Tribe in the Title VI grant funding.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Either way, I'll second.
Awesome. Any further discussion? No, I think it's excellent. I commend you all. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Board training. There's a new board member onboarding tomorrow online through the Idaho School Board Association. I'm gonna try to participate in that. It's about onboarding new board members, which we will have in January. Did you have anything else? Okay. New hires and separations.
I'll make a motion to approve the new hires and separations as presented.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, motion carries. There was
I
a,
was gonna thank Chad for
yeah.
30,
years?
40, 50 years. I don't know.
Coming
A long
back.
time.
Yeah, that's a pretty
40, huh?
pretty impressive coaching career.
Yeah.
Seems like he was there before I was in junior high, so.
Back to a lot of kids.
Yeah, a lot of kids that went through his track program, so thanks Chad for all the time.
He's very passionate.
Absolutely.
Yes, Chad helped me get through junior high with my child. The meeting dates and locations, there is a request to bump next year's December meeting Is December 14th, 26th, Monday still, or?
I'm nodding because I
Second
think it
Monday
is.
of the
Hmm.
month, because I have.
Must
city
be the
council, so
second.
I'll have to miss that
Oh.
one, so.
The next one falls on our break. That's why we have this one early. For
Mm.
whatever reason that wasn't reflected on this schedule.
No biggie. Just need a motion to approve that then.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the revision to the meeting dates and locations for 2026, moving the December meeting to December 14th, 2026.
I'll second.
It's on the calendar correctly already,
Okay, it is.
FYI.
As a point of discussion, and an association with the calendar, our meetings start at 6:30. I don't know, is it possible to start earlier?
I was just talking about that today.
I know we have our work sessions that are typically they're 5 to 6.
Yep.
And then we have the 6:30 regular board meeting schedule. Do we need that break? Does the
Are you
half hour
Thinking
help?
6 o'clock. Start time.
Yeah, or 5:30 even. But I don't know if that creates difficulties with the work session. Does it cramp it too much?
It wouldn't for me. I would be more than happy to have it earlier.
Yeah, me too.
Brian, any thoughts?
I would love to do earlier, but I'll go with the flow. I'll go with what the board decides on that.
So, I hear the hesitation in your voice. Just constraints from real life work.
Yeah, it's just, situationally, it's tough getting to 6:30. Sometimes it's going to be more challenging to get there at 4:30.
Okay, well, I certainly respect that, and it will require scheduling on my part too, but,
But I'm certainly willing, and we can do it. We can make it happen.
do
Are
we
you,
want to?
are you asking to change all of the start times to 5:30 regardless of whether it's a work session or board meeting? Or were you actually talking earlier, the work session being moved up also?
No, 5:30 across the board was my thought. So if we have a work session, the work session would start at 5:30. We would do that work session and then we would roll right into our meeting without a break.
And then on the days that there's not a work session, would we start?
We would start the board meeting at 5:30
Be
and
done earlier.
it was just a thought.
Be easier, maybe for the public, I guess. But it's always the same.
Yeah, but Brian, I
Regardless of
don't
what we have
want
on
to
the
create a
agenda.
hardship on your part either.
No, like I said, situationally, it's going to be a challenge, but I can't predict the year anyway. So normal situations, I can do it.
Okay, well, so that would take a motion, a motion amendment
Okay.
from the discussion. I'll leave that.
So I will revise my motion. To,
I'm sorry, are you thinking like soon?
Starting.
Starting next one, all of them, change the whole schedule?
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't sure if that's what if you're talking about later in the cycle. I'm not opposed to either. It's just clarifying.
so I will make a motion to approve the board meeting dates and locations modification to amend the December meeting for 2026 to December 14th, 2026, and starting with our January 26th, 2026 meeting, move our meeting start times to 5:30 for every meeting thereafter.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Any input from staff? Does that cause concern? Yeah,
really
with,
had a
with our
lot of-
online, yeah.
And they can get online, yeah.
Thank you,
Nobody
Bill.
here.
As long as you
For
guys
that.
keep doing a good job. We haven't had much public comment lately, so haven't seen anybody from Peck for a while.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? I mean, I'm open at this point before we vote.
We'll just have some scenarios where people, school staff, you know, school activities, just like we do now, that'll have to zoom in.
Yeah.
You know,
We can try
We
it
can
if it
tr-
doesn't work, then
Yeah, we can go back.
switch it back.
Excellent. All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you for being willing to try that. Let's see what happens. I would like a short executive session.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061 A and B.
Carmen?
Trustee Saint Germain,
Yes.
trustee Craig,
Yes.
trustee Daniels.
Yes.
Trustee Kepke,
Yes.
trustee McIntosh.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay,
Need our-
we'll call you, Brian.
Sounds good.
Okay, we are back in session with no motion from executive, no action items. Board member input for future agenda items?
I think we
Um,
should have, we should put on the executive session for next meeting, we should talk about that review.
Safety. That's a good idea.
Just so we can collaborate and really kind of
Dig into
get
it.
home. Yeah, get honed in on it.
On the safety assessment, Brian?
No, on the superintendent.
Goal alignment.
Yep.
Okay.
In January or February?
You want to have an initial discussion for sort of alignment and brainstorming in January?
Yeah, I think we should spend a few minutes just so we're all on topic on point, and we'll have a new board member at the same time. So it'd probably be a good time to get him involved as well.
Yeah, and I did send him our board vision, mission and goals page. So,
And
Yeah,
then-
that way if we have any if he's got any questions, we're all on point and aligned together with the direction we're trying to go with it.
We probably should discuss the safety plan. It sounds like it's pretty comprehensive in executive session since it shouldn't be shared. That we
Yeah, and
probably
then
should
it
have
looks
that.
like February strategic planning and safety. So if we had that information in January, that would help for the
Help
work.
Plan for
work
February. what we
session,
need to do.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Is that report gonna be ready by then, Jason?
Yeah, I can do.
Okay.
Any other ideas? And I'm going to try tomorrow to participate, Brian, in the new board member training that ISBA is offering. How to effectively onboard a new member. So get some tips and tricks. I'm going to try to make that.
Excellent. Thanks for doing that.
Of course, yeah. All right. The next regular meeting is January 26th. It's late in the month at OES at 5:30.
Get it in our brains right now.
Yeah.
I'll make my last motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Brian.
You bet. Drive
Right.
safe, folks.
Yep.
See you, Brian.